Alright YouTube, this video is going to be of my Suzuki DRZ400. I've done a couple other videos of me replacing the radiators and doing a couple other things. I haven't done any rodding videos. When I first got it, the thing was pretty... It ran. The decals were all messed up. The exhaust is kind of banged up on it here. Tire's a little worn. The motor had a leak behind the sprocket, and we replaced the seal, but as soon as we got the seal out and looked, there are some gouge marks in the bearing behind there. So we tried to repair it without having to actually get inside and replace the bearing, but it's actually leaking worse now than it was. So that's an issue. Plus the motor has a couple other issues that we found. But I mean, it did run. Other than the leak, we probably could have ridden it for a while. But what I did is I found one off of eBay for a pretty good price, which I thought seemed to be in pretty good shape. So that has actually been shipped to me. It should be here sometime tomorrow. So tonight I'm going to start taking this motor out. I don't have my tripod, so this is going to be me just every now and then taking some footage of what I've taken apart. But the plan is to get the carburetor out of the way, disconnect the radiator from the engine, all those hoses, disconnect the exhaust, disconnect all the other hoses up top, and then start taking off the motor mounts there, the front, and I'm guessing that the bolt there for the swing arm goes through. I haven't looked at the book or anything. I'm just guessing. And then we'll see where we are from there as to getting the engine out and ready for the new one tomorrow. The plan is, as long as the new one runs and seems to be running good, then this one I'm going to start parting out to get whatever money back out of it I can. Which might not be a whole lot, but who knows, maybe I can get $100 or a couple $100 out of it towards the engine that I just bought. But anyway, keep watching and you can see my progression as I get this motor out and back in. If the video gets to be too long, then I might just make a couple different parts to this little series. But anyway, thank you for watching and stay tuned. Alright, so if you've been watching, this part of the video jumps a couple days into the future. I went to videotape some more after what you just saw, and the camera was dead, plus my hands were all messy from messing with the dirt bike, so it's actually been a couple of days. As you can see, the engine is out of the DRZ. Actually today, FedEx brought the engine that I won off of eBay. It's a little covered in oil. I guess it wasn't drained. But anyway, it looks good. The other engine that I took out is up here. As I said, we had a pretty bad leak here. It wasn't the seal, it was the bearing inside the case that had a puncture in it. And also, I believe this thing has some issues with the compression. If you watch some other videos, one of my other videos I talked about it. But I think it did have some issues with that. Maybe not, but I never actually checked the compression with a gauge or anything. But anyway, instead of taking the motor off, which I've got it off now, but instead of taking it completely apart and changing the bearing, which was going to be, I believe, $40 or $50, plus all the new gaskets and stuff once I took it apart, it was still going to be several $100 probably to fix, plus just time consuming and taking the engine apart. I didn't want to mess with it. I found that engine on eBay and it's ready to go, and actually tonight I'm going to try to get it in place. I don't know if I'll have it hooked up or not, but all the way, but I'm going to have it in place. If you look at the things that you missed, basically I disconnected the exhaust from the engine, disconnected the starter, got the wires there, radiators have been removed, carburetor was taken off. I'm probably going to take the carburetors over there. Carburetor was clean not too long after actually right when I got it, and it hasn't been used that much. I probably will make sure the jets are clear, but it is the Kian carburetor. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and try to get the motor in place, and I'll get some more footage once I get it in place. It might take me a little bit, but you watching won't really notice that it took me a while. Anyway, keep watching. Alright, it's in real life it's about an hour since the last time I videotaped. I finally got the engine wrestled into place. I just got this bolt in that goes to the swing arm. That one was a pain. And then I got the bolt at the bottom going through the frame there. So now I'm going to put the motor mounts back here, up top, and then I'm going to start figuring out where all these hoses. That the engine actually came with a bunch of hoses, and came with clutch cable and some other things. So I'm going to figure out if those are better than mine, and then I'm going to start pulling out all my wires that I have tucked all over the place, out of the way, and start getting it back together. So I will start videotaping in just a little bit. Thanks. Keep watching. Alright, so here we are, last part of this engine replacement video. Please don't get upset because I cheated you a little bit. This is about 3 or 4 days after the last video. The engine's in place. All the plastic's back on the bike, seats on the bike. And I'm actually down here at the farm. The last part of the video, I think I just got the engine in, and I was hooking things up. Everything went in fine. The one issue I did have, the only issue, was this oil hose here. It comes in, or comes out of the engine here at the bottom. It comes up this left side of the engine and then crosses over to the other side and attaches behind the radiator on the other side of the bike. Oil kept producing here. At first I thought it was this hose, so I replaced that and it continued to leak. And what it was is at the very top where the metal line hooks into the bike, it was missing the O-ring that goes in there. So replaced the O-ring, got it on there, and it seems to be holding off on the leaking. So I do apologize for skipping with Christmas and everything, and knowing I was coming here today, so I was kind of in a hurry. So it was one night, I think Christmas Eve, I was out in my garage working on this, getting it back and everything hooked up and fixing that leak. It was Christmas Eve, or the night before Christmas Eve, the 23rd. I was out in the garage from about 11 p.m. until about 5 a.m. and I really didn't feel like taking video at that time. But anyway, the bike's back together. You can't really probably tell, but it's December 27th out here. It's about 25 degrees is what the truck said when I pulled into the farm. I'll put the choke on. I'll start it up real quick just so you can see. Starts right up. Like the beginning of the video said, we had a major leak with the other one that would result in me having to split the cases to fix. The thing might have had low compression. I had an issue before with it. I never actually checked it, but I mean the engine did run even though it had a leak. The bike is a little worn out, so instead of spending the money to get new gaskets and everything, I decided to go ahead and just get another engine off of eBay. The engine was $700 bucks. Started right up the very first time I hit the button. The only issue was that leak with the oil down there. So my next project, after I test it out today, I need to make sure I haven't driven it, so I need to make sure it does shift through all the gears, so I can give positive feedback on eBay. But my next thing is going to be to get a new exhaust. This exhaust is all dented up here. I don't know if I'm going to go back with stock or not, but I'm going to get a new exhaust. I'll probably get some sort of decal kit. The decals were all ripped up on it when I first got it, so I just decided to take them off and clean the plastic up. I mean, it looks a whole lot better than it did when I first got it. The seat was torn up. Now I've got the new seat cover on it. Actually, after I got the engine in, I went through here and I straightened out a lot of the wires. When I had it running previous, the headlight did not work. Now the headlight works. Actually, the kill button wasn't hooked up either, so I got that hooked up. Before I worked on it, if you watch some of my videos, it was wires everywhere. I mean, things were just taped. They weren't wire nutted or connected. It was just wires twisted together and taped over, holding them together. So I got all that straight. So it seems to be running pretty good. Like I said, I'm going to get some footage today riding it, make sure it's not any other leaks that I don't know about yet, and make sure it shifts. But once again, I do apologize for skipping through the video. I know some people will probably comment saying that they wanted to see the whole thing and not just updates as I went along. I put a video on once before of me working on a Trailblazer 250, and I fast forwarded through most of it because it took a couple hours for the work, and I fast forwarded it and cut some parts out so that it would fit into a 10-minute video for YouTube. And I had one guy complain because he wanted to hear what I was talking about and what was going on. So and he wanted to see the whole project, which would have been difficult to do with the time frame. But anyway, once again, 2001 Suzuki DRZ400E. Just had a different engine put into it because of the other one had a couple issues with it, and I decided to go with this. My thoughts are that once I know that this engine is good, I'm gonna start stripping the other engine down and keep a couple things maybe to replace parts that might break on this one, but try to sell some of those pieces on eBay that are still in good shape to try to make back a little bit of the money for this one. Alright, thanks for watching Big Jerem's Garage, and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and check out some of my other videos. Thank you.